on the cusp and off the cuff with Luke Parrish.
Howdy.
My contrast brother.
What's going on?
For all 7 people who listen to this podcast, you know who the contrast brothers are. If you listen, they actually might not.
I mean, if they do, then we definitely know them from our shows of 7 people that show up.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're on the cusp. So that's the name of this podcast. On the cusp. And
I like it.
yeah, Luke, you might not know about this. Do you know about my podcast?
I know of one podcast where you interview musical geniuses and have made like impacts in music culture, in history.
That's Chasing That Neon podcast.
It's a different podcast. Okay, cool. It's an honor to be here then on the cusp. I was like flattered. I was like, like all my detrimental influence in country music and here in the Midwest and South and Tennessee. God bless Dixie.
I love that you didn't know what you were on. And I didn't explain it.
No, I love it. I think the name is so catchy. I feel like we should rebrand Contrast Brothers as On the Cusp.
Well,
and, we'll be a radio show like where we read plays.
Let's not do that. That's so. What cracks me up? We're riding around, obviously in the car. You can probably hear that. But that's the whole idea of this podcast, which you don't know about, so I'll tell you about it. So I just started telling stories while I was driving, and my buddy was like, Ben Peoples, he was like, you should do that and put them on a podcast platform. And I don't promote them. So they're never, but if I have a guest, I will promote it because obviously I have a guest. It's worth listening to. But the ones that don't have a guest, I don't consider them worth listening to.
So you just you drive around and just talk to your phone, and tell stories?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And so there's a lot, what my entire life story is on this podcast.
I love that, actually. That is a great way to do a biography, for sure.
Well, it's for my kids, is kind of what I thought.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Sometimes, but my buddy, he was trying to tell me, is you do enough stuff, if you talk about gigs you're playing and things that you're on the cusp of, it's
okay.
He said, I think that there's enough there content-wise. So I actually don't think he was right about that, but I've been doing it anyway.
I think he was right, in fact, and I think this is a wonderful way to tell stories and document and just charter where you're at, musically, and for people to listen to. It's a cool concept, man.
That's what got me going. So I did a couple episodes recently where I did on the way to West Plains, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
And on the way back. So, I did a 2-parter, on the way to the gig, on the way back.
You were so productive with your time. I love that. That's so awesome.
Well, that's not real productivity, because it's not doing anything for anybody.
I mean, I feel like it's definitely growing you as a person and, just in your creative process and documenting, you're journaling almost in an audio format. For me, when I'm on the way anywhere, I'm listening to stand-up comedy hour specials, about 5 of them, and that's it. I'm just laughing to myself like I'm a maniacal idiot in my car driving by people.
Dude, I love that. First of all, I want to be a comedian more than anything.
I feel that. I really do. If I could give up music for acting and comedy, but that's just a whole nother level of bravery. To get on, I've given into these stand-up comedy open mic nights where these dudes, at the Green Light, for instance, over there, Joyride, and it's awful. It's so bad. And I'm just listening to these guys, you have to be some kind of confident and brave to get up there and just bomb night after night and just have the tenacity to be you know what? I'm going to keep going, man. I'm just going to keep doing this thing. And I much respect to that, for sure. I don't know how you do it. I mean, if I bomb at a song at bar lines when I'm playing, I'm emotionally distraught for the next hour. I'm okay, I have to make these people want to listen to me. I need their validation. It's sad.
Well, dude, I think we both have that same condition where we need validation and love from people in front of us.
Oh, absolutely.
And I felt you experienced me bombing last night, and I know you remember it. I'm going to bring it up. You remember when we played Wagon Wheel and you did a verse and Derek did a verse, and these really sweet people, this couple stood up to dance. So they stood up to dance, and they had not danced one time all night. And when they stood up, everybody went crazy. They're beautifully in love. They're dancing to Wagon Wheel. And it's my turn to do a verse. And I typically do this with what I've felt like is success in the past. I just take off and do it really fast.
Yeah, no, yeah, you literally like played them off the dance floor.
Yeah, they walked away and they got mad. And when I went to the bathroom after the gig, the guy was in there and he said it's their anniversary and they had a good time, except he looks me in the eye. He goes, except for you just totally like ruined our song. He said that to me. I was like, whoa, okay. Oh. So I bombed totally for the. So yeah, I can relate with bombing every night.
Oh no, you don't bomb every night. I'm just kidding.
Well, just some nights.
No.
So
it was. Everybody else seemed to really enjoy it. It was just if those dancers weren't there, it would have been gold. But
dancers, I've always had a love-hate relationship with dancers because I feel like they give me confidence, and what that confidence causes me to do is think that I can entertain them, and that's a huge mistake because they're not there to be entertained. So they don't like the quirks that I bring out. They don't like me stopping the song to make a joke. They just want to dance.
Yeah, that's dancers. Yeah, 90% of the time.
And so I ruin every opportunity I have with dancers. So Luke,
yes,
I met you. We've been talking a little bit about it today. I met you when I was doing golf cart tours. You came walking up to me and introduced yourself. And ever since then, we've been friends.
Yeah.
I started leading worship at the Warehouse Fellowship. Mm-hmm. And that was our first gig.
It was, man. It was a wonderful Sunday. I was super nervous to come play with you. That was Easter Sunday, like 2-3 years ago now?
Yeah, Easter. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was funny because that's back when I was drinking, and I had a bunch of Jim Beam shooters in my guitar case. And I opened up that guitar case, and your wife saw them, and she just like kind of like laughed to herself. And I had to be like, I promise I did not just drink these before I came here to play on Easter Sunday. It's from the night before, for sure. Which is still not great, obviously.
It was from the night before.
Not great, but no, yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It was I played lead guitar for you that Sunday, which I'm not a great lead player, but I can learn, worship song lead parts. They're not anything crazy, but it was just super fun. It was cool to get. That was my first time playing worship in, oh boy, what, like probably a good 8 years, or no, longer than that, probably 10 years or so.
Wow, I didn't know it'd been that long since you.
Yeah. No, I hadn't played worship since I left the Faith Assembly of God is what its name used to be. Now it's Endurance Church, but yeah, I hadn't really played worship since then. Back in the dizzy, as the kids say.
So, but you didn't just play in a band back then. You were a worship leader.
Yeah, worship pastor. Yeah, through Assemblies of God.
See, I even got it wrong again. I said leader. You're a worship pastor.
If you make one more mistake like that, I'm walking off this podcast. I'm tired of this.
Oh yeah. So you're a worship pastor,
mm-hmm.
and then you come back to playing worship with Jim Beam shooters. And
yeah, it's been a long, winding road, man.
Yeah,
found Jim along the way. He got me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Well, from Jim to Jesus, there's a song.
That's a song right there.
Okay, title.
I think they made one called From Jack to Jesus.
Yeah, I think they did, but oh dang it.
We'll do Jim and Jesus.
Yeah, we'll do Jim.
All right. Jim and Jesus.
Jesus. By the way, can I not call a Jesus guy Jesus?
I think you can, for sure. Yeah, I think.
I mean, do they respond to that?
I mean, like, it's like if you meet a guy named Javier and you called him Javier. Like, I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's weird. But also, Jesus is Jesus, So, I mean, it's just, how well do you know the guy?
Well, I don't know anything other than Jesus is Jesus.
That's true.
That I don't get, like, is there an apostrophe or apostrophe? I can't talk right now.
That's amazing. Say that one more time.
Can I say that? Apostrophe. How do you say it?
Apostrophe.
Yeah, free. Thank you.
Uncle Tom, yes. The apostrophes and the conjunctions and the prepositions.
Is there something different about the Jesus word that I can see that makes me know this ain't Jesus?
I think it's probably like him not on a cross or washing your feet. That's probably a good indicator that it's not Jesus. Jesus, but
Okay. Just check for the holes in his hands.
Yep.
So, all right. So, let's move on from that topic. I feel like I'm borderline.
We love Jesus. We love Jesus.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
we love Jesus too, wherever you're at, bro.
The sign says "Stay in the lane," and I'm going to ignore that sign right now.
Yeah, not very Christ-like, Adam.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in my. I'm going to get out of my lane. It sounds like ministry right there.
Yeah.
Not staying in your lane.
Oh,
That's
man.
what. Oh boy.
Hospitality team wants to put their 2 cents in about the worship, and then when we should do the altar call or when communion needs to happen, you know. And it's all like really inconsequential, really, in the grand scheme of things. It's like as long as you're one team, one fight, you're focusing on the Lord, it's all going to come together.
Amen. Well, it's funny. I remember when I was leading worship, it was the first time I encountered having to coordinate with the communion team. And I realized how important it was that they know, because they have so much to do. And they really need to know when to do it. Yeah. And I used to be like, I don't know, whatever, And they're like, no, hold on, we need to know the cue.
Yeah.
And that was very important to them, and obviously became important to me. But there's so many things when you're in ministry, you're involving yourself in all these other things. And I was like, man, I'm just used to kind of letting her rip, playing gigs and singing Boot, Scoot, and Boogie. And so that's a whole different vibe for me, a whole different world. I'll be honest with you, I never really loved it. I'm just going to say that publicly here. I love the Lord, but I felt like it was almost detrimental to my walk with the Lord to go to church and try to pull off this event as a gig.
Yeah. It's like you're putting on a show for the Lord, and really you want it to just be kind of that mirror of people looking at you, looking and seeing Jesus. And so that's hard to take out of the equation as an entertainer and as an artist, and as a musician. You're so focused on performing for people for a living, and putting on a good show that whenever you get to church, it's like you don't want it to be that, but really, like, that's what your instinct is to.
Absolutely, you're nailing it, and that's hard to shut that off, and that's why I don't know. I think it's easier for people who that's all they do is worship.
Yeah.
I don't know, but not that they should do only that, but I'm kind of more designed to make people laugh, I think. At least that's my instinct, so I try to do that for the Lord.
Yeah.
And by bombing at Wagon Wheel, that's what I'm made for.
I found Christ in that moment. So.
I did. I had to rely on him heavily. So, moving on from that. So, look, we started playing worship, but can you remember? I don't remember where our first gig was. Outside of worship.
Probably Bobby's Idle Hour on the golf carts. We'd stop in that bar on Music Row. Only bar on Music Row.
Dude.
Yeah, we'd stop in our groups and we'd pick up a guitar and we'd play songs. And if you ever get the chance, if anybody's listening to this, go to Bobby's Idle Hour Tavern on Music Row. It's probably the most wonderful bar in Nashville, in my humble opinion. I was just in there this last weekend with that bachelorette party from Lisa Higgins, the owner of my company. And I would walk in the bar, and of course, the one of the themes at Bobby's is that the bartender can play music. And so there was Klaus, she was playing music for the bar, and then I walk in, and she's like, Luke, do you want to play a song? And so right there in front of my group, I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll play a song. It's just a wonderful place, man. That's where Adam and I first started playing together.
That's right. It's magical, because doing golf cart tours for years, you always figure out the places that you can best pleasantly surprise and entertain your group.
Uh-huh.
And Bobby's is perfect for that, because they really don't see it coming. And some groups I wouldn't stop there.
Yeah. No.
But then there were other groups where it just felt right.
Yeah.
And there was never a time where I stopped there that people did not love it, man. And so you go in there and there's a guitar hanging, like you say, and then you end up, it's not like I grab it. It's like the bartender asks, hey, you want to play a song? And then your group goes, oh, no way, you play? And then turns into this whole spontaneous thing where I'm playing Your Mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Your Mom. No, not Your Mom, actually.
Yeah.
I love Your Mom. I'm sorry. I don't, not that way. Okay. Moving on. So that's kind of where the having one comedy song under my belt was where I would use it. Well, then me and you go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember that time we went in there and I was trying to sell you to that guy on your golf cart? I was just like, hey, you want to hear Adam play a song? And the guy was like, no, I'm good.
No, I don't remember.
It was
that.
so awkward. Like, it was just like, I looked at you and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And the guy was just like, he was just drinking his beer and like, he didn't want to hear you sing, and I felt terrible.
Of course he did. Well, I don't remember that, but it's probably because it happens so often. But no, dude, we had so much fun there. And I do remember there were a few times where it turned into a full-blown concert.
Yeah. We brought like big groups of like Joe, Tyler would play, you'd play, I'd play.
Yeah, so we would just play for these groups for 30 minutes at Bobby's Idle Hour in the middle of their tour. And then we'd leave and they'd go, wow, we ended up, and we never coordinated it. That's the funny thing. We just ended up there at the same time. And that's kind of the birthplace of what we would go on to call accidentally the Contrast Brothers.
Yeah. Actually, it really was there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, where was was Barline's our first actual gig? Or was it Valentine Bar or something like that?
I think you had me come play with you at Valentine. I think that was the initial first show we ever played together. That wasn't church.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this. I was not on the Broadway circuit for literally over a decade.
Oh, wow.
I didn't play Broadway. There was no need for me to play Broadway. I had played Broadway in 2006, 2007, that era.
Yeah.
Back when I moved to Nashville. And all of a sudden, I know you see this guy speeding over here. So all of a sudden, I go to play Nashville Palace with a friend of mine. And there's a guy there, and you know him, Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bryant sees me. And he's not a friend of mine at the time. I don't know him. And he says, hey, would you like to play some Broadway bars? And I was like, well, I guess. And I'm like, whatever, this guy's not going to book me. And sure enough, he does. And about a year and a half ago, it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, that fall, I started playing Whiskey Row, Valentine, Famous when it was there. It's no longer there. I closed that one. I don't know, there were probably a couple more. I think I ended up playing 1230 Club one time. It was super weird.
Oh, wow.
Justin Timberlake's bar. I'm down there, this hillbilly guy. I don't know one Justin Timberlake song. And every time somebody'd ask me, they'd be like, hey, play Justin Timberlake. I was like, you know what? He's not here. He's bringing Sexy back, but he'll be back here as soon as he can. Was that fuel leaking out of that guy's truck?
Yeah. There's a lot of fuel. Smell it.
Yep, we could have just been exploded right there.
Oh,
but
wow.
We're on I-65 South. We're heading to a gig right now.
Yeah, we are. Barlines tonight, 8 to 11 at the Omni Hotel.
We played there last night, and we have a gig tomorrow. We got 3 straight days of gigs. So back to Valentine. I got this gig at Valentine. I get a duo. So they say, bring somebody. I bring Luke. I had played it the week before, and I do remember this without you. I played it with another guy who does more country stuff. And man, I'm going to tell you something. Doing these gigs, at least by myself or with someone else who does country, it always felt like I was a Mario Kart guy where I could get straight on the straight stretches, but as soon as there was a curveball, I was off in the ditch. And I could never feel like I had a successful gig. And the audiences would come and go, and I felt like I couldn't hold a crowd because I could do all the old stuff, but I couldn't do what what 50% of the audience wanted to hear. Suddenly, you show up at Valentine, and me and you are taking care of the entire audience.
Yeah.
Someone requests something, I know it, I do it. You've never heard what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then you get a request. I've never heard the song you're doing. The same people that liked me like you.
Yeah, no, it's wild, the avenues of approach we have there. It's honestly hilarious to me that, like, all the songs you play, I know the chords, I know how to sing the harmonies, I know the daggum lyrics, but I could not for the life of me tell you any of the artists that sing those songs or even the names of those songs.
Well, how do you know those songs?
Because you play them and I play along with you. That's it. I've never even heard the originals on half of them. Like, I think that sometimes you're playing a Charlie Daniels song and I'm like, oh, that's Elvis, that's cool. And then I say that in front of a crowd of 80 people who I don't know, and like, oh, this kid's stupid. And then you're like, oh no, and they're just like laughing at me, and it's like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that happened last night. I was playing Oak Ridge Boys, Elvira, and I finished that song, and you said, that's Adam Elvis for you there.
Literally, just no clue what's going on in left field.
But to be fair, dude, it's the exact same way for me. I don't know who the heck does the songs that you're doing. I just know them because you do them. And so what I've learned as far as harmony and playing along with them. Now, I will say the songs you do, I've heard them in pop culture a little bit more. Like I've heard them in gas stations or walking through the mall. Tom Petty, and I can't even name the artists that you do. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I'm literally, so also, yeah, with the songs I do, I don't do like the regular studio radio version. I definitely make them all my own. So like whenever we play with a full band, I'm like, okay, so not doing it the way that you've probably heard it, and I apologize for that in advance. It's just I play it the way I like it, if that makes sense. And
yeah, so that's why it's different.
The versions you're hearing aren't even like the real versions of the songs. They're like my screaming at you rasp meets.
It's unbelievable though. I mean, I have become such a fan. Well, first time I heard you sing, I was a fan, but to see you open up in these audiences, and like when we played, I mean, that gig we played a week and a half ago still blows my mind. We get a call to play the Nashville Palace. The gig starts in an hour. I hop in the car and I'm making my way to the gig, and you decide you're going to come too. Which, good sport, by the way. You didn't have to do that.
Oh, yeah. I was cussing you all the way to the gig that night.
I know. You were not happy with me. And then we get there, and I told you it wasn't going to be a band because I really didn't think it was. But we get there, and there's a bass player and a drummer that the manager sent over to play with us. And it's news to me. It's news to you. And then you said, you think we can sit down tonight?
Yeah, I was tired, man. And honestly, I wasn't like cussing. I was cussing you because I'm lazy. That's what it was. I wanted to sit at home. I had some plans to play some games with some friends, and I figured zombies specifically on Call of Duty. I was getting ready to just slay some zombies. And you know, the right call, the obvious right call for my future, my family, and for myself is to play the gig with Adam. You know, grow as a musician, get out there, network, learn some songs, have some fun. But lazy Luke's like, dude, let's just sit here on this couch, order some burgers, and let's play some video games.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you had the night off, so you kind of had that in mind already.
I did, but you made the right decision to stay on me until we played that gig, because it opened up some doors, and it was an electric night. The drummer Tim and the bassist Joy were just astounding on their instruments. They killed it, man.
Well, and that's where I was heading with this. In that night, we're playing 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's Saturday night. This bar is got a pretty good crowd.
Yeah.
And I've played that bar. I want you to know I've played it by myself on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Wednesday afternoons. I've filled in for people before there.
Yeah.
And a year ago when I did that, I asked the booking lady if I could be on her roster instead of just being her fill-in guy. And she said, I'm very particular about who I get.
Yeah.
Okay. A year goes by. She asks us to fill in. Me and you show up, you're just blowing everybody out of the place. You're singing Wanted Dead or Alive and Come Together, Beatles, and you're doing Fogerty with Bad Moon Rising, and you're doing like Jelly Roll. I mean, you're doing all these songs that I have no idea. And I can sing harmony with them and whatever, you know, not great, but I can...
Yeah. You do amazing on the harmonies, and also your stuff is just as incredible as mine. Like, you're just all those classics that people love and know and get them on their feet and just moving around and stuff like that. And it's just such a great time. That's why I love playing with you. It's so much fun. And also another thing. Sorry to cut you off there, man.
No, you're good.
No, is when I play with you, I don't have to worry about like I don't like there being any dead silence or stillness in a show. I like to fill it with either commentary, talking, jokes, music, so something's going on at all times. And with you, never once have I had to be like, oh, Adam's playing, I gotta fill this void. You're always on top of it, whether with your performance and with your crowd work. It's always just 10 out of 10, and I love it, love it, love it. Are we going to the chiropractor?
We're pulling into the coffee shop right now. We're gonna pause the episode and we're gonna walk in, and I'm gonna show you this coffee shop that my friends own. It's called Bloom and Brew. We're gonna do a little commercial. My buddy that when I moved to Nashville, I met him the first Sunday. Ben Peoples. I was in his wedding. He was in my wedding.
This is the guy.
We did not marry each other, but he owns him and his wife. Actually, his wife runs this coffee shop, Robin. So we're going to go in, and hopefully she's here. You'll get to meet her. And we'll get coffee and resume this in just a moment. All right, we're back after grabbing coffee at Bloom and Brew.
It was a lovely, lovely coffee shop in Goodlettsville.
It's good coffee. I put a little ice in mine. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't like iced coffee, but I don't like scalding hot coffee either.
Pansy.
So that's the deal. I don't like it.
I got oat milk with mine, so I can't talk.
Oat milk. Yeah, you said you didn't even know how to order coffee, and then you asked for oat milk.
No, oat milk. That's
like that. I was like, well, hold on. I didn't even know that was a thing. So
yeah, it tastes good with black coffee. No, I didn't know that, and here I am.
Hey, check this guy out. Speeding past us. Whoa.
Oh no.
How about that? So you're a slow driver, Luke. That's what I hear.
I was a slow driver. Now I'm driving like the rest of Nashville. And it's not like that guy. That guy was going like, balls to the wall. Don't ever go that fast. But I usually go 10 over. It's usually where I cut myself off.
Yeah, I'm a 10 to 15. Mm-hmm. I don't mind a 15er.
I think that says a lot about our personalities,
Yeah. No, I'm definitely pedal to the metal more than I should be. So on the cusp, I want to ask you something about what you're on the cusp of. I hear you've mentioned you're recording an EP coming up.
I am. My first EP here in 2 weeks on May 5th. I will be doing a 5-song EP at Promethex Studios in 12 South here in Nashville. Very excited. Still don't know what songs I'm going to do. I got 2 for sure that I'm going to record. One I wrote for Ashley, one I wrote for my mom, and then maybe one I wrote for my little brother, and then the other 2 are, to be decided. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I've never had my own stuff. I've always been parts of like my original band, Oh the Fire, or the Bright Blue Bell Buckles, or Skyborn, or Jacob Hackworth. I've always just been part of other people's bands, or just and so this is going to be a solo artist stuff, and I'm very nervous and excited to get it done, and then planning the release of the songs, pre-save, all that fun jazz. I don't know how any of the politics of music work, but I'm just excited to have my own music out there.
Well, I'm excited about it. I've told you before, I wish you were on Spotify, and you should. You have an amazing voice, and you've got a lot of great songs. And what I love is you just named 3 songs, and for every song you named, they were all songs written for people in your life that you love.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's easier to write for when you have purpose, and I just don't. I don't know if the stuff didn't happen to me in the song, I'm not good at writing songs about like fictional, fabricated events. Nothing against that, of course. That's amazing, and that's what songwriting is. But I just have to write from a personal place. So.
Exactly. Well, that's why I wrote "Plucked."
Yeah, from when you were a chicken.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Like it was yesterday, man.
Yeah, just exactly. So, one of my favorite things you do is the Spider song. Like,
oh yeah.
Can you like sneak that one in there on the session?
I might just record that at Jake's. Jake's got a recording set up at his house now. I might just do like a demo and put it on the.
Yeah. I think you should have that one for sure. So. You mentioned Jacob Hackworth. You also mentioned Ashley. The people that listen to this might not know who these people are.
Oh, yeah. So Jacob Hackworth is one of my best friends. Goodness, we came from West Plains, Missouri, here in Nashville together about 5 years ago. I play guitar for his band whenever we do full band stuff, and I'm very proud of him. He's had a lot of success as a songwriter here in Nashville. Wrote the song "A Rock and a Hard Place" by Bailey Zimmerman. Good at Making Bad Decisions by Dylan Schneider. This Heart by Corey Kent. He's got some stuff that's going to be coming out that I can't really talk about, but it's going to be amazing. He's one to keep your ear to the ground for, because he's making waves here in Nashville. And then Ashley Lawrence, that is my girlfriend, who I just had a baby with about 3 months ago. I love her to death. She is my everything, and now Scarlett is part of that everything, and it's just a truly blessed life. And I'm unbelievably lucky with those angels that I get to build my life around now.
I tell you what, you had a baby with her. The way I remember it, she had a baby with you. That's kind of what I remember.
No, I had the baby.
Okay, I noticed you've been saying that lately. I just want to make sure.
Did you not notice my stomach went a lot smaller really fast?
I actually did.
Rude. I'm just kidding.
No, that's great.
She had a baby, yes.
No, I'm messing with you. So Scarlett is the most beautiful baby. I have to say it. You always want your friends' babies to be beautiful, because you don't want to look at them and go, oh Lord, she's cute, but good luck with it. No, like, this is one of those that you just want to hold her and snuggle her. She's very sweet.
And it was like everybody told me, like, when you hold your baby, you're just going to get washed over with this sense of, you're everything. And it wasn't like that for me. It was maybe 3 weeks in, I was changing her diaper. It was obvious I loved her. It was a baby that was mine, and that I was going to love and take care of. But it wasn't until 3 weeks in, when I was changing her diaper, she started giggling at me, and I was just like, oh no, this is it. This is what they were talking about. So it took me a little bit, but it's there now, and
Man, the same thing happened to me, dude. Like, I remember being in the hospital, and they handed me the baby. It was Avery, the first one. And I was just like, all right. Like, I didn't instantly have this life-changing moment I say everyone that I've heard exists with people. So it kind of worried me a little bit. And then when my daughter was born, same thing. But yet when I connected with their little personalities for the first time, like a little smile or something like you're describing, that's when it happened for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's because I was worried too. I was like, oh man, am I going to be a bad dad? Am I too selfish? Am I not going to love this kid as much as I'm capable of, or am I not capable of loving that child like that? And then it kind of just went away whenever her personality started showing, and it's, I don't know, it kind of just reminded me of God, like first just made me really appreciate God and all the more because, he just loves us, personalities and all, even before our personalities, he loved us, and so it was kind of a cool revelation moment whenever, she took my heart and reminded me of my faith.
Yeah, he says he knew us before we were formed in the womb, and that's something. So we're almost at your apartment here, and then we're going to jump back in, and let's just pick this back up where we left off again. We're going to keep stopping ourselves and getting back on here because I don't want this podcast to end just yet. We have a lot more to talk about.
Babies, Jim Beam, and Jesus.
That's right. On the cusp, off the cuff. That's also part of the name. I didn't tell you that.
Oh, okay,
I changed the name because it was just on the cusp, and I realized that I'm not on the cusp of stuff a lot, but I am off the cuff all the time.
You're on the cusp of a glorious mustache.
Well, that's true. Yeah, thank you very much. Looked in the mirror. Yeah, it looks good. All right, we'll be back on here in just a moment. Well, we're back on the pod here. We just went in Luke's apartment there and what did we do? Why did we go there?
Oh, we dropped off a fudge for Ashley, and
that's right.
I wanted to just see them before the show.
That's right. I forgot why we were there. No, that was a good visit. Little Scarlett woke up.
Yeah, she's doing some tummy time and hanging out with Mama. She's doing good. A little congested, but Mama's milk will cure that, as Mama's milk cures all.
Chocolate milk curls. Why did I say that?
Curdled? Is that what you were going for?
No.
I was like, I don't know where curdled milk would come into that equation, but...
No, I meant it would cure. Chocolate milk cures...
Cure.
Hold on, how do you say it?
Oh, why was I saying cure?
Yeah. All right, so I thought this would be interesting, but it's not. So we're going to start over. No, okay, I'm just kidding.
What?
Oh, hold on, I'm in a pothole.
Yeah, Nashville, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is.
we are
I'm having
lame.
a stroke, dude. Like,
we're lame at podcasts.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're on the cusp of potential things. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to say out loud things that we're being considered for that are not actually realities yet.
Yes, just potential shows.
What we're excited about. Okay, so the Nashville Palace, the girl that books the Nashville Palace, hopefully she doesn't listen to this. I'm sure she doesn't. But she books the Palace and Scoreboard, and she claims that she wants to put us on the future schedule so we'll have more gigs there. Okay, so some people might go, oh, okay, big deal, you got another gig. Oh, I want to go down Ellington.
Yeah, you're good.
She's like, so big deal, we got another gig. No, it's not. It's really a big deal because it's hard to get in some of those places.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're even being considered for that is super cool. Then we got you. What's the other guy? The fair guy. You want to tell that one?
Tommy Jackson.
Yes.
Hall of Fame clogger. Is that right?
What? Yeah. I was gonna say toilet clogger.
That dude's a baller. We were playing the Palace. What was that? Last Saturday night? Or 2 Saturday nights? Well, this guy comes up and asks for Rocky Top at the show, and so Adam starts playing Rocky Top, and this dude's like waving his hand like faster, 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 and then he just starts like breaking out. And this, to me, was a foreign dance I had never seen before. I thought he was like Irish, like tap dancing, but it was clogging apparently, and he's in the Hall of Fame for it. Super cool. It really was. It was like dope. I was just like, what is happening? This is awesome.
You genuinely never didn't know what this was?
I thought like that lady started doing it too, and I was like, oh, this is a thing people do. And And then, yeah, he's super cool that he comes up to Adam and I individually each at different times after the show, gives me his card, gives Adam his card, and first he asked me, he's like, were you on American Idol? And I was like, no, but this is like the third time this week. There's some dude with tattoos and a black beard, hair, and brown combo, I guess, that's on there or something.
By the way, you should be on American Idol.
Nah.
Why not?
That ain't me, dog. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe one day. But, like, yeah, so he invites us. He tells us he books for the Williamson County Fair. And he's like, well, this band from Robert's Western World, they're kind of holding out. We don't know if they're going to commit, so I'd like to get you guys on the ticket. And so he's like, give me a call next week and we'll see if we can make it happen. So Adam over here, being the responsible one, has been on the phone with them, and we're waiting to hear back. I think next week now we're supposed to hear if we'll be playing the Williamson County Fair as the closers.
Yeah, which is nuts. What do you know? I didn't know he said that to you about Roberts.
Oh, yeah. I guess there was a band they were trying to get or something. You said it was Rhonda Vincent, though, right?
Well, then, yeah, he told me something totally different, because he told me that it was between us and Rhonda Vincent, which I said, okay. She's the queen of bluegrass. She sells out the Ryman in 8 minutes. What? Between us and Rhonda Vincent? I was like, I'd be happy just carrying her fiddle behind her, you know?
Yes, but I think we're like basically the Aldi option, and then she's Walmart. No, she's Publix, and we're Aldi.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Yeah, because she's definitely Publix, and we might be Cash Saver. I think that's what.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Yeah, I think we're. Analogy. Yeah, but maybe what he's really trying to say is he's waiting to hear back from those people, and when they say no, your gig sucks, then we're gonna say, oh, we're so excited to play that gig.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, but look, the Williamson County Fair is kind of a big deal, I think.
That's one. Is that in Franklin?
Yeah, it's in Franklin. I mean, we thought he said Wilson County Fair. We were fired up about that, and then we found out it was Williamson. We thought that was even better. That's where richer people are.
Yeah, the richest county in Tennessee.
That's right. So anyway, we might play that. Then it gets better, because I decided I know this guy in New York City, and he's part of a group of people called Tunnel Two Towers. And it's a big, long story, but these guys, they put on events and do things in New York City. So I went up there and did the 5K, and I've got a little secret route up here. I'm going to show you this little route I got. Yeah. So I went up there and did that 5K in New York, and went to a banquet. That actually is an episode on the podcast, which you might enjoy that episode, Luke, if you would ever listen to my podcast.
Well, no, I'm definitely not now.
So, yeah, there's an episode on there about me fighting for a cheeseburger in Manhattan. It's pretty wild. So, this banquet, they have musicians play there. It's a really big, fancy banquet in New York City, and it just dawned on me, like, me and Luke should be playing there this September. So I texted the guy. He's like, send me a video. And I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah, we have lots of videos of awkward conversations that we have on stage.
Yeah.
And also good performances, but it's also, we're usually playing for about 10 people, and you don't want to send that to a potential employer for a show. You're like, oh, you guys don't sell any tickets at all.
Right. Well, yeah, y'all just played an empty bar with a crappy looking stage. So, so that's what we've got a lot of footage of. Yeah. So I reached out to a guy. I'm not going to get into the names. I'm not going to drop his name. I'll drop Rhonda Vincent's name or Tommy Jackson the Clogger's name, but we're not going to drop my videographer's name because he's the man. We reached out to this guy, and he's like, hey, y'all, he didn't know about Luke. And I'm going to just tell you, he's known about me for 15 years. And as soon as he heard Luke, he goes, you guys should play Garth's.
Yeah, which would be amazing. That bar just opened up, a month ago now?
Yeah, so he actually has the ability to make that happen. So we're going to see if that works out, but we're going to be making a video with him soon, and we'll just go from there, one step at a time. So look, if all these things come true, the Contrast Brothers will be playing New York, the Williamson County Fair, Garth, the Nashville Palace, and Scoreboard.
Yeah, that's a heck of a docket there.
Yeah, so I don't know, and it's actually possible that none of it comes true.
Yeah, it's also they could also tank all of it. All of it could just go away in 2 flaps of a butterfly's wing.
Absolutely. So that's why this is called On the Cusp and Off the Cusp.
What did I just say? Sorry.
You said two flaps of a butterfly's wing.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Sorry.
Well, it made sense to me. If they flap, boom, boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
The gigs are gone. Yeah. No, that was actually kind of a brilliant.
I just thought it was a super feminine analogy that I decided to go.
Well,
with,
you do those.
I do.
Yeah. You actually bought pants today because you thought your other pants were feminine.
Yeah, I did. My white ribbed jeans. I mean, I was looking at pictures of us from last Saturday playing the wedge, and I was like, man, those are just hugging my thighs. Like, it's just not a good look, man. So we went to we stopped at Levi's first, and of course Levi's like $80 for a pair of white 501 jeans. I'm like, man, I'm not dropping 80 on a pair of jeans. So we go over to H&M, where they had a lovely pair for $40 with 10% off, so $37. It was.
Hold on, they were 40, but 10% off made them 37.
It's a tax.
Okay, all right. I was just looking forward to you explaining how $3 is 10% of 40.
You want to do this right now on the podcast? You want it?
Yep.
You don't want these hands? I'm just kidding.
All right, so we're looking at the skyline of Nashville. We're almost at the Omni Hotel, where Barlines is their neighbor. Actually, hey man, get this straight in my head. Is Barlines owned by Omni?
Dude, I don't.
Why are we paid by Omni?
I don't. I guess I think Barlines is owned by Omni, but I don't know if Barlines is in every Omni hotel. Like, I don't know that there's a Barlines in Louisville up there at their Omni. I just definitely have to ask our man.
Yeah,
I've been playing here for like 3 years.
I'm sure the people listening to this probably are enjoying that I brought it up, but yeah. I don't know, man. That's the confusing things.
Answering the age-old question that people lose sleep over at night.
Right.
Is Barlines in fact part of the Omni hotel?
Right, exactly. Well, we're tour guides, so we need to know these things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're signing off. Adam Pope, Luke Parrish, the Contrast Brothers. We think we're on to something. We think we're on the cusp. Nobody ruin it for us, okay?
Yeah. Don't jinx it like we just did with this podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't share this. All right.
Love y'all.
Bye.